what it is. Oh, DD.
Here we are. So, YouTube and everybody else, apparently this kind of went under my nose. Unbeknownst to me, they unlisted the old Dawn of War, and they kind of gave me a copy of the anniversary edition. I don't know how many people got that, but basically this is the anniversary edition of Dawn of War II, which apparently also comes with Chaos Rising and your regular Dawn of War, I guess, Retribution, potentially. I'd never seen this or heard about this coming out, but I looked at my Steam today, and lo and behold, there was a anniversary edition serial key for me. So we're now playing the more refined, more pimped out, kind of beautiful version of the old Dawn of War. And I didn't even know you could zoom this far in. This is actually kind of nutty. But here we are playing as Abaddon, which I aptly named the first character here. And we're gonna see how it goes.
On that turret in tactical formation without being suppressed. Once in range, I can disable it with a frag grenade.
I was really wondering what was up with the unlisting of the old game, but
Spotters, open fire!
Launch barrage.
Commander, there is an orbital relay ahead. Securing it will give us a defensible fallback position should we need it.
It will also allow us to reinforce our squads. The foe is engaging at range.
Return fire, brother!
so yeah, this game is like one of my all-time favorite games, like of all time. It's one of them, to be sure. And I was wondering, the delisting was just came out of nowhere, and I was like, what's going on with that? And then I see this just popping up, and I'm like, oh my god. Are they remaking it and stuff? And it turns out Anniversary Edition was the thing, and I don't know if people even talked about this. I found out by looking at my Steam, and I'm like, what the heck?
Before they call in a strike.
More enemy spotters. Forward observers. Kill them quickly.
Fire away.
Keep advancing to avoid the artillery.
Target coordinates and fire.
Return fire.
Enemy has us in close combat.
This way, brothers.
Circle the wall.
Excellent space brains. Hostile movement up ahead, brothers. Down. Next target. Pirates here. Under fire.
Let's go, man. Let's get him. I wonder if they added some other fancy stuff. I know there's you can link your account to Relic, but I was like, nah, I'm just gonna go in blind, see what I get. If I don't get any special gear, whatever, I don't care. It's like, whatever. I just want to experience this game again. Oh, he got fucked up. He got messed up, man. Look at that. That's okay. We can res him. Get him, shock and awe, man. Get wrecked, bro. Let's see what we can do with this, man. This is definitely feels so nostalgic playing this in somewhat enhanced quality now.
Scouts, more enemy spotters. Forward observers, kill them quickly.
Get him, man. There they are. They're dead. Oh, I forgot about this. This is like a big enemy thing here. Fuck it, rush it. Oh, this was probably not a good idea. What? What do you mean? How am I losing it? What? You gotta be kidding me right now. Get the point. Yeah, get him, man. It just runs through the barricade, man. Just like that. It's fucking hours. I have played an insane amount of Warhammer games. This was like one of the beginning ones where I was just like, oh my god, this was the holy grail of starting games. It was really, really very special to me in a lot of ways.
Hostile movement up ahead, brothers.
Textbook assault marine action. There we go. Fire upon me, brothers, for I have the seal of the Emperor, and the steely armor of artifice. I can take it, and thus we will defeat any enemy in our purview, and bring righteous seal.
Forward observers, kill them quickly.
If anybody wants to hire me as a voice actor for a Warhammer game, oh my god, any IP I would love to do that. It would be the greatest thing ever. I wouldn't even care if I had to like say the lines 40 times. Like, I would do it in a heartbeat. like, Henry Cavill is one of those people that really enjoy playing Warhammer and stuff like that. I grew up basically playing Warhammer, like tabletop and painting some of my own miniatures, but I wasn't that good at painting. Unfortunately, I'm not a very artistic person. But you know how it is, you know. Let's see. That didn't hit very well. Oh well. But yeah, if anybody wants me to do let me just do this. Can't hear me right now, probably. I'm trying to turn this down, but it is crazy loud. Let me turn this down a little bit. Master volume, let's take it down to half, maybe. There we go. So yeah, I grew up with Warhammer. It was like one of the big things in my childhood. Me and my friend would try and kit bash and do things like that, you know. We would show each other, you know, armies that we've liked to see. And the reason why I named this Abaddon, my character, is because one of the first characters that I had was actually Abaddon. Let's get out of here a little bit. Too much damage. We need to recover a little bit. Let's see. So I would love to do that. Like, it's in my blood. I grew up. There is nothing I would rather do than to be a voice talent for something like that, in any way and shapes. And I got multiple voices too, if that's you know, interesting in some way. But like, basically, to voice one of those Space Marines would be one of the greatest joys in my life. Actually, I would be so fucking happy. Like, it's just one of those things, you know, like, I always liked it. I bought the miniatures, and there is just such a thing as, like, just complete IPs that just makes you feel so wonderful about them. I will say though, like, that one of my greatest regrets is that there's never been a Warhammer IP thing. That's been focusing on the dark side of the universe. I would kill to basically see a Warhammer 40k IP focusing on Khan the Betrayer and all these people, you know, like the chaos side of things. I mean, it doesn't have to be Khan the Betrayer, but he's kind of like one of my all-time most favorite Chaos Marines, you could say. You know, I was big into the faction that Khan had. Basically, I think it was the World Eaters, but or it's either the World Eaters or, you know, Khorne, things like that. But that was my jam, man. I did start with I think with the Black Legion, which was, you know, different because I was young. I didn't really know too much about it. didn't know too much about Warhammer in general, so like, so one of my first things was just Black Legion, because they were like kind of, I guess you could say they were like Chaos Undivided, and I just, you know, I just had this want to just completely delve into that universe, because it was so dark, gritty, and really interesting to me. Like, I don't know why it was that way though. I don't know why that captured my imagination such when I was a kid, and especially why the chaos side of things. I mean, there was the, you know, the fantasy side of things, the big horned. They looked kind of like space Vikings, which is kind of dope to me. And you know, I'm of Danish descent. Well, very far out. I'm German descent, but basically, I'm born Danish. You know, speak my main language is Danish, but basically the whole chaos side, even the fantasy side of things, always appealed to me, and specifically the Khorne faction. That was my jam, and I really enjoyed that. So yeah, I actually just spent so much time looking at Warhammer stuff, buying the codexes, and playing some tabletop, and buying the figurines. The one thing I was never good at, like I said, was painting, but I don't think you need to be good at painting to enjoy Warhammer in a lot of ways. Just even the lore, even the story in it by itself is actually super fun and addictive, you know. So it's just interesting to see, right? To see and play this and experience this. And the Warhammer 2, Dawn of War, was just one of the things that I played early on that really cemented my love for this kind of like stuff. And then with the newest things, you know, that kind of pushed that a little bit back, because I was so worried that they were going to do a Warhammer show where they wouldn't even take Henry Cavill's ideas for the show into consideration. Would be such a betrayal of the spirit of Warhammer. Like, I am one of the OGs of this shit. Like, you know, we basically, like, no one, first of all, no one really cared about the Ultramarines. I don't know why they focus so much on the Ultramarines side of things, because nobody played the Ultramarines. I do not remember a single person that I've ever seen that actually cared about the Ultramarines chapter. Nobody played the Ultramarines. Like, it was Orcs, it was Eldar, it was Chaos Space Marines. You know, it was never ever the Ultramarines. You'd see the Space Wolves, you see Blood Angels. Specifically, my friend played Blood Angels until he went like, nah, but Orcs though. And then he was like, yeah, let's focus on Orcs, and then make little things for Orcs and, you know, play it and things like that. He had a loft where we would actually just meet up and look at Warhammer figurines and stuff, and we would play in the attic sometimes. I still remember this to this day because it was such a good memory, you know. It really was such a good memory. Like, we didn't fuck around, man. Like, we did what was needed, right? We made money to try and buy figurines and things like that. Like, we had an actual interest in making money just to buy the product. Like, you don't see that in a lot of things. Like the only things that made that happen for a lot of kids was Pokemon. It was Magic the Gathering, it was Yu-Gi-Oh cards, you know. If I want to make like newer references, maybe like Vanguard could be like a potential there. Hearthstone cards, you know, all those kinds of things. But basically, or I don't know, Master Duel and Duel Links on Steam. But basically, it was such a different experience back then. Like, we were there because we wanted to be there. We were in the hobby because it was cool. We were there because it was fun. We were there because we wanted to engage in just a love for something that we shared. Like, a lot of people played this. There was lobbies, hobby centers, you know? I tried moving them. Where the heck is this kid, man? Dude, stop spamming nukes, bro. What the fuck? Where the heck is this kid, man? He just keeps spamming me. He's still there? No way. This is overpowered, man. Jesus. How many barrages do you have? Okay, let's see. But anyways, the idea was that, like, that with our money, like, we earn from things like, I don't know, just different jobs, you know, like newspapers and I don't know, ads or whatever. Like, you just use the time to actually earn the money to like buy the fucking figurines. It's basically what they refer to as like, you know, paper crack or whatever. Like, you know, if you're talking about like trading cards, you know, but it was just like that. Like, it was this thing that everybody wanted to be a part of, and we all have our own favorites. And, you know, my friend had he had the wish to basically be a you know, orcs, but he started out as like blood marines or blood angels, the sanguinius chapters, you know, those guys. But that was not, like, once he saw that orcs were this really fun, interesting faction, this, oh my god, the noise. Fun, interesting faction, right? Because it was just like that, right? It was fun to enjoy playing it just with your friends. It was just fun to do all this stuff. But it has to be said, though, that it was a different time, you know? People were more social and outgoing than people are today. Like, there wasn't so much smartphones and games at home. Sure, there was games at home, but it wasn't also on mobile. Like, it wasn't also it wasn't also that, right? So it just was a very different experience than what you see today, right? A lot of hobby-esque things got shot down. Like, a lot of hobby hobby lobbies, you know, all those kinds of things just got shut down. People stopped caring so much about it, and it's and only recently have I just seen a resurgence of Warhammer, and it makes me so happy to see. Like, it makes me so happy to see that they're finally acknowledging that there are people here that are interested in what like in war, like there are people interested in what Warhammer was, you know. They're finally really interested in it, and they're taking an investment into these shows, and uh-oh. Who? Where is he? Launch barrage, man. Can I break this? Oh, I can. Okay. Okay, let's launch here. Tactical Intersurgeon. Get fucked, brothers. You do not deserve to be called guardsmen. But anyways, yeah, so we spent an inordinate amount of time delving into this, and then it just seems to die out for a long time. Dawn of War was really the only... Since Dawn of War 3, like that time period between Dawn of War 2 and Dawn of War 3 was really indicative of how much time went by and nobody just really did anything about it, like for a very long time. They didn't do anything with Warhammer, and they were sitting on a gold mine, but they didn't know they were sitting on a gold mine, or they didn't want to take the risk. And then all of a sudden, Space Marine happens, and Space Marine was kind of not exactly what people wanted, but it was still, we were starved. We were starved for Warhammer products. Like legit, we were in the trenches, sitting there just crying, looking at people getting like game after game after game, like Madden or like, I don't know, the Diablo series and things like that. Diablo series was something we looked very fondly ahead to, of course. World of Warcraft expansions, things like this. But basically, the idea was that like we have been the most like abused fan base you could possibly imagine, and we were some of the most die-hard, actual crazy people that would invest into tin models of figurines just to play Warhammer, you know. And it's like, and I'm not saying like the money is not there anymore, because surely the market has gone back, you know. But there's news on the horizon. Apparently Denmark has now the lowest unemployment it's ever had in a long time. However, I feel like the market is still kind of suffering from like the downswing and all that kind of stuff, but judging by how many power tools are being repaired in my work, it's kind of like not really dying. If you can afford to repair power tools, you know, I feel like that is an indicator that a lot of money and time has gone into a business that's thriving, even though it seems like the economy's kind of bad right now. But the fact that so many people are employed means that there's gonna be so much money in people's hands and maybe we'll see an upswing, sort of. Like, maybe they won't have as much money as they used to have in their hands, but they'll still have money, which is... What is the point, really? That's the point, you know? Jeez, man. Okay. Distraction point. Let's go, brother. Brothers, we have made it. Time for extraction. The Emperor would be proud to stay.
Expect a counterattack shortly. Agreed. Still, this is a defensible position. We hold here.
Sort of defensible, yeah.
Thunderhawk Talon Alpha inbound. Hold position.
My Devastator squad should take position in that structure. This whole area will become our killing field. Into that building, brothers.
We need only a word.
The traitors are laying down a barrage to soften us up. Prepare for an assault.
Be vigilant.
But anyways, as I was saying, like, I would love to be in a Warhammer IP. It's in my blood, and Khan the Betrayer is one of my all-time favorite characters. Like that's like, you know, he's one of those characters that's absolute batshit crazy. But he is the most, in my opinion, like the most devoted follower of Khorne. Like, he's such a crazy character. Yeah. Oh, Mastercrafted bolt pistol, huh? Come on, man, get over there.
We are exposed here. Watch for an ambush.
Anyways, so like I was saying, like basically the idea is that Warhammer was just, for such a long time, it was disregarded as an IP that people focus too much on. Like they were focusing on other things, you know, football and wrestling and all kinds of other things. So really, Warhammer only had the refuse, or the sanctuary that it had was really just tabletop and people's minds, and basically it was only that, you know. They couldn't go anywhere else. I wish I had some actual some actual stimulant kits right now would have been nice. Sorry, I'm just kind of focused on the on what's going on here. Yeah, we could use some help, man.
Look, they are breaking off the attack. What do you expect from traitors? Courage and honor?
Traitors.
The reward for treachery. Retribution.
There we go. Set the name of the game. You know, that's... Here we are.
Victory is ours.
Got a grenade launcher. So there's another part to this, you know. Ooh, extra strength, that's cool. Doom of the Mighty. Ooh, boy. And this series is, to me, it was just one of the most so
Well done, Commander.
so fucking rewarding when you played it, because it's just instant gratification. Like, you know, you're just gonna immediately feel so rewarded for playing this, right? And I think that's the reason why that is. It's just, you know, it was always such a unique such a unique IP. That's the thing. It just really was. Fist of Valhalla. So we have a blue power fist. That's cool. Let's punch some shit. And this. There we go. That's a crazy mix. But yeah, that's just the thing, is like, people play this game so much because it really delved deep into the consciousness of the Warhammer crowd, you know? It's just it was the whole idea that there's actually war gear you can change on your units. I would have loved like way more customization, you know, but you can't always get, you know, what you want, you know. You gotta get what they allow you to get, right? And that's just it. Like, you can't expect to just get everything in life, you know. If you just had everything in life, life would be pretty much boring, you know. That's kind of the trade-off there, is that life probably would be kind of boring. It's unfortunate, but like, you know, that's just how it is. Life would definitely be more boring if you just got everything. But that's why I was saying that, like, most of the Warhammer fandom just got treated like in such a kind of, shall we say, like, really negative way. Because, like, we just didn't get any Warhammer new IPs for such a long time. And then Space Marine came, and Space Marine, like I said earlier, Space Marine wasn't really what we were looking for. Like, man, if we could get a, I don't want to say people want an MMO necessarily, because MMOs are hard to run. Maybe MMO's time is it's kind of hard to make it work. But a single player game that focuses on just Conda Betrayer, any dark side faction that isn't like just completely lame. The story kind of like akin to like Darth Vader's story, but not. I don't want to like simplify it, but basically where you can pick your Chaos God through playing, where you can give him the equipment and war gear, and you can customize his looks, you know. And don't do any of the DEI bullshit that's currently going on. I think that's what people want to see. They want to see new uh, this new version of a Warhammer, like where you can actually do a crazy amount of things, right? So now he can fire while moving, which is kind of useful. Fire this while moving. And he has his fist for close combat. Boom shakalaka. Which stuns vehicles. Like, this is an insanely cool feature to have. Because, like, okay, it's a big, like, dreadnought in front of you, but yeah, you have this. You just fucking punch the crap out of it. Ah, man. Tarkus needs to level up. He can get I Shall Not Fall, which is kind of nice. We can work together to get this. It's like he just spam. He basically spam grenades, sort of. Eventually. But yeah, Tarkus is really good. I like him a lot. Let's see, let's give him some health, I guess. Don't want to give him flamers. Not really that much of an upgrade. Let's see.
Commander, I recognize the markings on the troopers who ambushed you. They used Imperial Guard equipment, but those were House Vandis forces.
Vandis, the deposed governor. That coward fled the sector when the Tyranids attacked.
The noble houses on Meridian have their own militias. It looks like Vandis' troops are resisting the new regime.
I am sure Governor DeRosa will be delighted.
Yep. You have Davian Thule here with some upgrades. No armor though, unfortunately for him. Maybe later on. Thaddeus, Salt Marines, Tarkus, Tactical Marines. I think I went with like more or less just a like Tactical Marines combined with, well, like, you know, like the problem with fucking Davian Thule is he gets hit by a lot of like anti-vehicle stuff, like rocket launchers and stuff. That's the problem with him. But steady cover, sure-footed is really good. But yeah. Ooh, man, that is a nice cannon, dude. Let's go. That is also really good. It's almost better. Because it does an insane amount of damage to like buildings, vehicles, whereas this doesn't. But it's, you know, to each their own. Let's give him that loadout, third loadout. And then we're gonna donate some of this stuff. Combat discipline. Forget what that is. So we'll find out. Oh, this is, so it's called strength, really. But +2 to his strength, so he gets up to here. We can get to Furious Charge, which is gonna be nice. And then we can get more experience. Boom. Gets more experience. We can go to... potentially he could have heavy bolters and stuff like that. But I feel like that's not what you want to run on the Sergeant. Like, he's kind of like more of a versatile guy than like heavy support. Gonna give him some more health. Go for Indomitable. Now he no longer has the jetpack, however he has this, which is Suppression Clear, which is really, really good. We have this. The Jumpy Boy. If we're not using Jumpy Boys, we can use Tarkus. That is. So you can actually pick on deployment who you want to bring with you, basically. And the ones you don't bring with you, I think they gain like corruption if they stay back or something like that. No. Invite a friend to play the campaign, so they play co-op basically. That's what you can do with this, but.
Strike cruiser retribution. This is Librarian DawnOfWarII. We are under
I guess we might not be able to like change too much currently in the deployment section currently. But it lets you do that like later on. So you can choose whether you want to bring Jonah with you, whether you want to bring the Devastator, Dreadnought.
Eldar warriors, attack!
This is an interesting one. I remember this. So Eldar is basically the space elves. And ironically, these guys are sort of the reason why, if you delve into the lore, these guys are the reason why they're the reason why one of the Chaos Gods exists, basically. They went to such a great excess that they created the Slaneshi, either I always mix them up, but either Sench or Slanesh, and they're kind of different. But basically, their failure was the sole cause of creating one of the Chaos Gods that is an immense threat to humanity and everything in the universe. It's really their problem. These guys did it. It's their fault. They were created to fight against the Necrons, and they were so good at it. The Eldar were so good at it that they actually pushed an insane killer species back. This murdering killer species was put back by an entire faction known as the Eldar, which was created to do so. However, here's the problem with that. They kind of just stopped doing it. The Necrons went into hiding, and the Eldar was like, well, what do we do now? And the answer was they didn't have a solution for that, pretty much. So that's why, it didn't go as well as they planned, you could say.
Get back!
There he is, Jonah. But their excess and lust and art created such a huge void in the war that an entire chaos god was created. And then he snuffed out a bunch of them when he got into existence. Basically, he got snuffed out. He snuffed out a bunch of the Eldar. And really, they created such a huge problem. And because the Eldar got almost obliterated, now the Necrons were allowed to return. They could get out of slumber and start murdering the galaxy, basically. And they're like one of the most deadliest threats known to the universe. But they were in hibernation because of the Eldar. And because it's like that, you know, it just do be like that.
You are a welcome sight indeed, Commander. I am DawnOfWarII. He fell, saving me from an Eldar war machine. We had just discovered a large Xeno structure to the east when they attacked. A webway assembly, no doubt. It will allow them to invade at their leisure. We must destroy it.
Hmm.
Of course. I am at your disposal, Commander.
Yeah, this was interesting. But anyways, if you like what you've seen, subscribe, like it, comment comment which faction draw you to Warhammer. Why are you watching this video? Like, why do you like Warhammer? Do you not like Warhammer? Like, do you want Henry Cavill's show to do well? And I think I don't know if it's even gonna become a possibility, but I think the Warhammer is, a lot of things are changing right now. Economy is changing, our viewpoint is changing, games are changing, developers are creating new titles of absolutely just pure joy for people like me that wants to see and delve into titles like this, you know, delve into the Warhammer lore. But I will say I'm really missing the representation from a lot of the other factions. Where is the Xenos? Where is the Necrons? Where is the Tau? Where is all that stuff? The more religious aspects of it, which is the techno cultists, and you know, like, but really, if I want to put my finger in something, I would really want to see, and I don't want basically, don't give me a Kylo Ren version of it, but I feel like, where is the game that features someone like Khan the Betrayer, becoming the Khan the Betrayer, picking his Chaos faction, or like an unnamed, but basically let us actually play, or let us play like an Imperial that becomes Space Marine, and then turns to the Chaos side of things, and then he gets to experience what it is. Like, he chooses his corruption, right? He chooses his path due to his choices, right? You could even Bioware the fuck out of it, like give it like multiple character choices, like talking to people and making choices that steers him towards certain things, and eventually he becomes like one of the champions or an all champion for like the Chaos faction, like an undivided character. I don't like undivided. I feel like people should make a choice, which would make it so much cooler if they went like, oh, I could see, oh, I want to be Korn, I want to be Nurgle, I want to be Slanesh, I want to be, you know, these things. It's like a game where you get to play in the beginning, very brief period, I guess, leading up to it. Like, you get to play as one of the fucking guys that turns to chaos. In any of those shapes or forms, I don't care which it is. But I think the really cool version is, like, how about the first chapter that turned away from the Emperor's Grace? How about the Thunder Warriors? Could we talk about the Thunder Warriors, the first chapter that the Emperor had? Like, maybe you are a survivor from the Thunder Warriors chapter somehow. There shouldn't have been a survivor, but let's say you were one. Somehow, magically, you survived. And that character now gets to go through a story mode, like a single player game, and or like a combination of a single player and multiplayer game, but basically where you get to play to your faction till the end, where you're like an actual exalted fucking champion of Khorne, or exalted champion of whatever demons, and you eventually turn into a bloodthirster, or like something like that, like where you actually go through the entire process of being corrupted and then turn into like that thing, and then you get to, from there on in, you get to make choices where your narrative campaign goes towards maybe fighting uh on a planet and then being deleted by, I don't know, Sisters of Silence or something like that. You know, like eventually you just fall because you inevitably have to, because the Imperium will not let you continue being, you know, a force, an absolute force of destruction and murders, you know, that kind of thing. But like, to be able to create your own like equipment, and like I want to see it really customized. Like you can choose like pauldrons and choose colors and choose your war gear, like very specific war gear, like especially the lore stuff, the really fancy lore stuff, like the rosary that makes you nigh invulnerable to bullets, and like all those things where you like you get to really pick your character. Like maybe he picks up like a hell blade from somewhere, or maybe he has a specific staff, or like he chooses to be more of a psyker, or like he chooses Terminator armor and goes like full on Terminator armor with the bolters and everything. It's like, let people go into that high fantasy area of creating their own space marine, in quotation marks, because I would want to see it from the evil side. Like, let us play an anti-hero, someone that turns to the dark side, and by dark side I mean one of the four chaos gods, or maybe even a mysterious one. It's like, let people play that. Like, why are we continuously doing ultramarines? Why aren't we doing orcs, for example? Like, what about a campaign with orcs? Specifically, you get to play bad, like one of the badass, like, you could create an entire game just based on an orc invading a planet, right? A campaign that focuses solely on one of the warlords, and you get to play him like visceral through like the masses of like, please give us something like that. Like anything that like goes off the beaten path of being a Boy Scout ultramarine in blue armor with, oh yes, the Emperor protects. I want to see the more in-depth side of the universe. Don't pull a Tower of Fire Warriors. I want to see something cool, like, you know, delve deep into the lore. Heck, make a game about the guy that's continuously lost in the warp. Make a game about some of the female Imperial guardsmen that tried their very best to keep chaos at bay. And I mean, like, they were trying hard to keep that place safe, you know. And that's why I think Warhammer has so much more to offer, but it has never gotten that treatment. It has never gotten the game that we would just salivate to even think about. Like, please, whoever, if anybody ever sees this, even if I am dead in 40 years or something like that, please, if anybody sees this, make a Warhammer game so good that the people that play it are gonna cry at the end of the credits, like, because it's over. Make that game, and I think that'll make so many people so happy to see that. Like, they'll be in their 70s, they'll be in their 80s, they'll see this game come out and they'll be like, I don't care that I'm a grandpa. I'm gonna I'm, I'm gonna I'm gonna take some of my retirement funds to build me a basement, and in that basement there's gonna be a lock on the door, and then I'm gonna lock that door for a month as I play this game. Like, that's the kind of game that I would like to see Warhammer have. It's the kind of game Warhammer deserves. And I don't care what form it comes in. I do care a little bit. I care that it's not like a repetition of the same things. I like Space Marine. I like Space Marine too. But they're not the Warhammer game that this was when this came out. This was Warhammer, like, embodied in such a great way. And I'm glad to see this anniversary edition is out, and I really hope that we continue this wave of just actually pulling away from the abyss we were going towards of low quality, garbage tier games that had all of the qualities they needed. Like, this, I haven't seen a single, like, error in this. Like, so whoever redid this and refinished it, polished it off, gave it patches, it is just as nice as the original was. It feels like the original was, and it's keeping the spirit of Warhammer alive. We need that. Oh boy, we need that, because we were so sorely underrepresented, and we could be something great. We could be the next, I don't know, like, we're already the next thing, but basically we could be so much greater. People could be looking forward to the next Warhammer game, the next Warhammer movie series, and you would make a boatload of cash from something that's really actually delving into the lore, something that, like, not just the D&D like crowd. I feel like there's overlap in the D&D crowd and the Warhammer people, because, or cosplayers in general, because, I mean, you go to AnimeCon, you see fucking Space Marines, you see Ultramarines walking around on the floor, like, in big costumes. It's like, you know, these are, you know, Space Marines. They take Iron Man and they show him that, like, he is far beneath them. Like, a fucking Space Marine with a, I mean, Iron Man's pretty cool though. I shouldn't say that, but basically, that's too far. That's almost too far. But, like, a Space Marine with a jetpack would get Iron Man a hell of a fight. I can tell you that much. I do think that I'm rambling on too much and I should finish the video here. And like I said, if you enjoy Warhammer, leave me a like, leave me a sub, and I'll see you in another video. I kind of want to do a different outro, but this is what we got right now, so the Emperor, may the Emperor to protect, skulls for the Skull Throne, blood for the Blood God, and all the other good shit. And I'll see you next time. I did it again, basically. You know, uh, I'm just gonna leave you with, have a fucking great day. And if you want to see more of this stuff, well, this has been Dawn of War Retribution, or Dawn of War 2, the Anniversary Edition. It's on Steam. If you don't already have it, it's on Steam. And I will just say, seeing this again makes me so happy. Space Marine 2 made me happy too, but not in the same way. And if you gave me a game where I got to play the beginnings of someone like Khan the Betrayer, that would make me astronomically happy. I would rob an old lady to buy that video game. I'm kidding, but I mean, I'm working now, so I probably would be able to afford a $70 game, or $60 game. But anyways, it's just, I think that the world really needs to hang on to some of the good things that they have. See how fucking Star Wars get ruined? It's not ruined because people like me still remember when it was good. You know, but it's ruined in the sense that, like, they keep producing bare minimum slop that's got political stuff in it. I think that's where we gotta get away from that. I just want to say, in the Dark Ages, in the grim dark tides, the Warhammer 40,000, there is only war.